Today we're going to explore a fascinating paradox in creativity research. Why does brainstorming in groups often produce fewer original ideas than individual thinking followed by sharing? This goes against everything we've been taught about collaboration. The conventional wisdom says that when you put smart people in a room together, their ideas will build on each other, spark new connections, and produce brilliant innovations. But is this actually true? Research consistently shows that group brainstorming sessions often generate fewer ideas and less creative solutions than when individuals work alone first and then share their ideas. This phenomenon has been documented since the 1950s, yet group brainstorming remains the default approach in most organizations. Let me take you back to the original research. In 1958, a researcher named Alex Osborn popularized brainstorming as we know it today. Osborn proposed 4 rules. No criticism during the session, wild ideas are welcome, focus on quantity over quality, and combine and improve ideas. These rules sound great in theory, but then researchers actually tested it, and they found something surprising. Study after study showed that individuals working alone generated more ideas, and these ideas were rated as more creative by independent judges. Let me give you a concrete example. Imagine we have 12 people, and we want to generate ideas for improving a product. Scenario 1. Put all 12 people in a room for 1 hour. They generate maybe 40 ideas. Scenario 2. Have those same 12 people work alone for 1 hour, then pool their ideas. They generate 80 ideas, twice as many. So why does this happen? There are 3 main psychological factors at play. Let's examine each one carefully. The first factor is called production blocking. This is a cognitive bottleneck that occurs in group settings. In a group, only one person can speak at a time. While someone is talking, everyone else has to wait. Here's what happens. You have a brilliant idea, but someone else is speaking. So you have to hold that idea in your working memory. And while you're holding it, new information keeps coming in from others speaking. Your idea gets pushed out of working memory. By the time it's your turn to speak, you've forgotten what you were going to say. This is production blocking in action. Working memory can only hold about 4 chunks of information at once. When you're trying to hold your idea while processing everyone else's ideas, something has to give. Let's do a back-of-the-envelope calculation. How much time is actually wasted waiting? Let's say the average speaking time per idea is 30 seconds. This includes the idea itself, plus a bit of discussion. Imagine a group of 8 people, and each person has 10 ideas they could contribute. That's 80 total ideas. 80 ideas times 30 seconds equals 2,400 seconds, which is 40 minutes just for people to speak. But wait, in a 1-hour session, that's only 60 minutes, so you can only hear a maximum of 120 ideas if there's 0 discussion. But realistically, maybe only 40 to 60 ideas get shared. This means 75% of the ideas people are thinking never actually get voiced. They're lost to production blocking. The second factor is evaluation apprehension. This is the fear of being judged by others. Even when you explicitly say no criticism allowed, people still worry about judgment. It's human nature. Here's the paradox. The more creative and unusual your idea is, the riskier it feels to share it. You don't want to look foolish in front of your colleagues. Think of it this way. Conventional ideas are low risk. They're safe. Original ideas are high risk. They might be brilliant or they might sound crazy. In groups, people gravitate toward the safe zone. Original ideas get self-censored before they're even spoken. Research shows that people self-censor 40 to 60% of their unusual ideas in group settings. These are precisely the ideas that might lead to breakthrough innovations. Here's an analogy. Imagine brainstorming like a poker game. In individual brainstorming, you're playing solitaire. You can try any strategy, make any move, with 0 social consequences. But in group brainstorming, you're playing high-stakes poker with your colleagues watching. Every idea you share is a bet. Do you go all in with a wild idea, or do you play it safe? Most people play it safe. The third factor is actually 2 related phenomena: social loafing and conformity pressure. Social loafing is the tendency for people to exert less effort when working in a group than when working alone. Your contribution feels less important because others are there. Conformity pressure means that ideas tend to converge toward whatever direction the group is heading. If the first few ideas are about cost reduction, suddenly everyone's thinking about cost reduction. Picture this. At the start of a session, ideas are diverse and spread out, but as the discussion progresses, ideas cluster together. The group converges on a narrow set of similar concepts. Diversity of thought decreases over time. Now you might be asking, does this mean we should never brainstorm in groups? Is group collaboration always bad for creativity? The answer is no. Group collaboration can be extremely valuable, but we need to structure it differently. The key is to separate individual idea generation from group discussion. Let me describe the optimal process based on the research. This is a structured approach that combines the benefits of both individual and group thinking. Phase 1. Individual silent generation. Give everyone 15 to 20 minutes to generate ideas completely alone. No talking, no sharing. Just think and write. Phase 2. Anonymous idea collection. Have people submit their ideas anonymously, perhaps written on cards or entered into a shared document without names. Phase 3. Group review and building. Now bring the group together to review all the ideas, discuss them, combine them, and build on them. But the generation phase happened individually. This structure eliminates production blocking because everyone generates ideas simultaneously. It reduces evaluation apprehension because the initial generation is private. And it preserves diverse thinking because people aren't influenced by others during the creative phase. This approach is formalized in something called the nominal group technique. Let me show you how it works in practice. Step 1. Everyone writes down ideas silently for 10 minutes. No discussion allowed. Step 2. Go around the room. Each person shares one idea. No debate or discussion yet, just recording all ideas on a board. Step 3. Now have a group discussion of each idea. Clarify, elaborate, combine similar ideas. Step 4. Do anonymous voting or ranking to prioritize the ideas. This preserves individual judgment while leveraging collective wisdom. Companies that use this structured approach consistently generate 40 to 70% more ideas than traditional group brainstorming, and the ideas are rated as significantly more creative. Let's look at this from a neuroscience perspective. What's happening in your brain during individual versus group thinking? During individual thinking, especially during mind wandering, your brain activates what's called the default mode network. This network is associated with creative insight and making novel connections. But during group interaction, your brain shifts to the task positive network. This network is focused on external attention and social processing. It's great for communication, but less conducive to creative insight. These two networks are actually anti-correlated. When one is active, the other is suppressed. So being in a group discussion literally shifts your brain away from the creative mode and into social communication mode. Here's another question. What about brainstorming with close friends or teammates? Surely evaluation apprehension is lower with people you trust. Interesting question. Research shows that familiarity does reduce evaluation apprehension, which is good, but it actually increases conformity pressure, which is bad for creativity. Close teams develop shared mental models. They start thinking alike. This is great for coordination and efficiency, but terrible for generating diverse ideas. There's a paradox here. The more comfortable you are with your team, the less likely you are to suggest truly radical ideas that might disrupt the team's shared worldview. Let me give you another back-of-the-envelope calculation to quantify this effect. Let's model the creative output. Total creative output equals time available times rate of generation times quality factor. For a group session, 60 minutes times 0.7 ideas per minute because of production blocking times 0.6 quality factor because of conformity and self-censorship. That gives you about 25 quality ideas. For individual work pooled together, 60 minutes times 1.5 ideas per minute, no waiting times 0.8 quality factor, less self-censorship. That gives you 72 quality ideas, almost 3 times more. Now these are rough estimates based on aggregated research findings. Your mileage may vary. But the directional effect is consistently observed across dozens of studies. Now let me be fair and talk about when group brainstorming actually does work well. there are specific conditions where it's beneficial. Condition 1. When the task is to build on or refine existing ideas rather than generate new ones from scratch. Groups are good at iterative improvement. Condition 2. When different people have different domain expertise that needs to be combined. A doctor, engineer, and designer brainstorming together can make connections none could make alone. Condition 3. When the social energy and enthusiasm generated by the group is more important than the raw number of ideas. Sometimes team motivation matters more than idea count. So it's not that group brainstorming is always bad. It's that it's bad for the specific task of generating a large quantity of novel, diverse ideas. For other tasks, it can be quite effective. Let's talk about something that's often ignored: status and power dynamics in group brainstorming sessions. Research shows that higher status individuals in a group speak more, interrupt more, and their ideas get more attention and development. This happens even when expertise is equal. Lower status members, even if they're experts, self-censor even more than they would in an equal status group. They're afraid of challenging the high status person's ideas. Here's a common pattern. The boss or senior leader shares an idea first. Even if it's not very good, the rest of the meeting becomes about refining that idea. Alternative ideas get ignored or dismissed quickly. In a typical 4-person brainstorming session with one senior leader, the leader might speak 50% of the time, while the other 3 split the remaining 50%. This is not conducive to diverse idea generation. The solution? Anonymous idea generation before group discussion. This neutralizes status effects. Ideas are judged on merit, not on who proposed them. Let me give you some practical recommendations you can implement immediately to improve your creative processes. Recommendation 1. Always start creative sessions with solo thinking time. Even just 5 to 10 minutes makes a huge difference. Don't jump straight into group discussion. Recommendation 2. Use anonymous submission tools. Digital platforms make this easy. Have people submit ideas to a shared document or tool where names aren't attached initially. Recommendation 3. Separate the generation phase from the evaluation phase. Generate lots of ideas first, without any judgment. Then later, evaluate and select. Don't mix these phases. Recommendation 4. If you must do group brainstorming, assign someone the explicit role of devil's advocate. Their job is to challenge assumptions and push for more radical ideas. Recommendation 5. Try brainwriting instead of brainstorming. Everyone writes ideas on paper, then passes them to the next person who builds on them. This combines individual and group benefits. Let me share a real example. NASA once ran an experiment comparing different brainstorming methods for solving a complex engineering problem. Method 1. Traditional group brainstorming with engineers in a room together. They generated 15 viable solutions over 4 hours. Method 2. Engineers worked individually for 2 hours, then met for 2 hours to discuss and combine ideas. They generated 52 viable solutions, more than 3 times as many. Independent experts rated the quality of solutions. The individual first method produced solutions rated 40% higher on innovation and feasibility. The efficiency ratio was 3.5 times improvement. Same amount of time, same people, dramatically better results, just by changing the structure. Let's talk about psychological safety, which is the belief that you won't be punished or humiliated for speaking up with ideas, questions, or mistakes. High psychological safety is essential for creative risk-taking. When people feel safe, they share more unusual ideas. However, even in the safest, most trusting environment, production blocking still occurs. You still can't all talk at once. You still have working memory limitations. Psychological safety is necessary but not sufficient. You need safety plus structural changes to optimize creative output. You can have high psychological safety with poor structure and get mediocre output. Or you can have high safety with good structure and get excellent output. Both elements matter. In our modern remote work environment, there's another option: asynchronous brainstorming using digital tools. Asynchronous brainstorming has many benefits. No production blocking, because everyone contributes simultaneously. People have time to think deeply, and you can easily make it anonymous. You can use tools like shared documents, online idea boards, or collaboration platforms. People add ideas over hours or days, then discuss synchronously later. Research on asynchronous ideation shows it generates more ideas than real-time meetings. And the ideas are more diverse because people aren't influenced by real-time group dynamics. Final question. If individual work is so much better for idea generation, when is synchronous group work actually essential? The answer is for synthesis, not generation. Groups excel at taking diverse ideas and synthesizing them into coherent strategies or solutions. Groups are good at spotting connections between disparate ideas. One person says something, another person builds on it, and suddenly a new synthesis emerges that neither person would have created alone. Groups provide reality checks and feasibility assessments. An individual might generate a brilliant but impractical idea. The group can identify practical constraints and adapt the idea. And groups create shared understanding and commitment to the final direction. When people collaborate on synthesis, they're more bought in to implementing the result. Let me summarize with an evidence-based approach to creative collaboration. The evidence is clear. Individual thinking generates more ideas and more original ideas than traditional group brainstorming. Three main factors explain this. Production blocking, because only one person can talk at a time. Evaluation apprehension, because people fear judgment. And conformity pressure, because groups converge on similar ideas. The optimal process separates individual generation from group synthesis. Generate ideas alone, then collaborate to refine and combine them. Structured methods like nominal group technique outperform unstructured brainstorming by 2 to 4 times in both quantity and quality of ideas. Using anonymity and asynchronous tools can further enhance creative output by reducing social pressures and production blocking. Here's the structure visually. Individual generation, then anonymous collection, then group synthesis. This structure maximizes creative output while preserving the benefits of collaboration. The bottom line is this. We need to rethink how we approach creative collaboration. The default of putting people in a room and saying go brainstorm is suboptimal. Small structural changes like adding individual thinking time, using anonymous submission, and separating generation from evaluation can double or triple your creative output with the same people and the same time investment. The science is clear. Process and structure matter as much as the talent of the individuals involved. Even brilliant people produce mediocre results with poor structure.